First up today, we're going to talk about women in the accounting profession and specifically about those women who manage to make it to the top. While equal numbers of men and women enter the profession as students, women are still encountering obstacles in achieving partnership and quit the partnership track in greater numbers than men. I'm joined on the line by Professor Patricia Barker, who is the author of a new book, The Minority Interest, which has been recently published by Chartered Accountants Ireland. Pat, the book looks at the story of the opening of chartered accountancy to women. Is the profession, would you say, now fully open to women?
Yes, I think it's true, Dusty, to say that the profession is just over 50% of the intake now is women, and women are promoted up to middle rank just as well as the men are, and they're bright and smart and they do well. So yes, it is true to say that the profession is open up to the middle rank of the profession to women. But
why does it end at the middle rank? Why are women not making it to the top jobs?
Well, there's quite a lot of research about this, Dusty, but it seems that there are two reasons. One, that women do face obstacles that are not encountered by men, and two, that women themselves choose to opt out of the kind of model of top leadership that has really been designed by men for men. It doesn't suit them, so they just opt out of it.
You'd mentioned obstacles there, and then the focus of your book is not really on the obstacles women face that prevent them from making it to the top, but instead you're kind of looking at women who did make it to the top to see why they did make it. Who were the women that you interviewed?
I interviewed 43 women partners in the big four firms in Ireland, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand and the United States. And they were just wonderful, honest, frank women who told us their story and allowed us to have an insight to their story and how they got to be where they are.
So in the stories then that they were telling you, what kind of sacrifices did they have to get?
Well, in order to get to where they were, the sort of sacrifices they talked about, and there's quite a lot of it in the book, but just to mention it, they had to decide probably against motherhood. So some of them decided completely against being mothers, and some of them decided to defer it until later on in their lives, until their mid to late 30s. But they also had to sacrifice the care of their children. So they had to hand over the care of their children to others.
And of the 43 that you interviewed, would you say half didn't have kids at all, or what kind of percentage?
Yeah, just over half didn't have children at all by the time I interviewed them.
Wow.
Some of them who were a little bit older talked about wanting to have children now that they had established their career, but sadly the biological window seemed to be closing for them. So although they had planned it, it wasn't actually happening for them.
And was this a big regret in their lives?
For some of them it was a regret, yes, particularly women who were in their 50s who talked about how they would love to have grandchildren but realised they would never be able to do that.
What about in your book, looking at it from the point of view of an accountancy firm? Are there any lessons for accountancy firms here?
Yeah, I think the firms are very worried about losing these women, and I think the insight that these women gave us gives the firms a chance to see why they're losing these women, and it might give them some ideas about how they might restructure or redefine their workplace at the very top to make it a better place for women. So there are lessons, I think, there for the firms.
So it's very much about women and making it to the top in the business. Do you think the book should be read by men?
Oh, definitely. I don't think this is just a book for women. It's a book for people because men work with women, men are fathers of daughters, men are married to women. They need to hear their story and to understand their insights. So I think it's very much a book for women, for men as well as for women. And in fact, Tom Fitzpatrick, who's the president, said he was going to buy it for all the men on his staff. So I think that's probably a good lead for them.
Good stuff. Well, listen, thank you very much for joining us, Pat. I understand the book can be ordered directly from the Chartered Accountants Ireland website, and there's also more information about the research and how to order on page 68 of the October issue of Accountancy Ireland.